One of the biggest problems with road running that I see, both in the amateur world and the professional world, is an over obsession on the times and results that come out of a race. I coach a lot of people who are trying to get faster. In fact, one of the taglines of Knighton runs is to run faster marathons. And getting faster is important. I coach a lot of people who want to BQ, but the over dependence on comparing your personal progress to just your times, I think is a huge problem. One of the things that I think that our sport could improve by having more emphasis be placed on it is both the competitive nature of sport and the personal stories. And those are two things that the overemphasis on times and personal bests don't really get to. I see this manifest in a lot of ways. This past weekend, I ran a half marathon on a very challenging hilly course. And I also coached my cross country team on a very challenging hilly course. Now, neither of those courses are ones that you're going to PR on unless you're in a phase of your running where you're consistently getting better race after race after race. And while one of our girls who's in a more developmental stage of her training right now did PR on that course, another athlete who is further along in her training did not. Now, their times don't really matter to me as the coach, and I hope it doesn't matter too much to them as well, because really that was a course that's not about the time. That was a course that is about your effort and your performance. And the half marathon I ran last weekend was the same too. I was 3 minutes off my personal best, but I don't care because I didn't go into that race with the expectation to PR. I knew it was a hard course. I knew I wasn't tapered. I knew the weather wasn't going to be perfect. And when we compare times from race to race, what we don't recognize is that every day is different. You could even run the same event from year to year, but fluctuations in the weather, how you're just feeling, all play a huge deal in whether or not it was a better performance or not. So, arguably, the half marathon I ran last weekend, even though I was 3 minutes slower than my personal best, was a better performance than when I set my personal best 2 years ago. My personal best was set on a downhill course in 40-degree temperatures with good competition. Last weekend, when I ran 3 minutes slower, the competition wasn't so good. It was a challenging hilly course. I wasn't tapered, and it was fairly warm and humid. So the two can't be compared. What I wish we focused a bit more on than just the times we run is the stories, our own personal stories, and the stories in the sport, in the pros, and just following along with our journeys, their journeys. When all we're concerned about is our own personal improvement and our own times, it turns running from a sport to a personal journey. And if it means that we're not going to expose ourselves to more challenging courses and new experiences just because we know that those ones won't provide the times we're looking for, I think that's kind of a sad thing. The marathon that I'm racing this October has been around since the 70s, and it was on a challenging course, hilly course. And for this year, it's been changed to a flatter course. And I can only imagine it is because there's so much emphasis nowadays in marathoning and people wanting to BQ. So many people will just flat out refuse to run a difficult marathon. I think once you get beyond kind of the phase of running where you're so concerned about running a specific time, it does open you up to more possibility. It opens you up to the possibility of running to compete against others, no matter what your ability level is. It opens you up to more challenging courses. It opens you up to running in new, exciting places that might be a bit outside your comfort zone. And I just think it allows for an overall better appreciation of the sport. So, no matter what the outcome is of your next race, I don't really care what your time is. As long as you put in a great effort, did your best, and you're seeing progress from season to season. That's what truly matters. And if you miss your PR, that doesn't necessarily mean you had a worse performance or you're a worse runner, because no two runs are the same. If you think about the championship marathon, it's almost never fast. None of the Olympics tend to be that fast. Because at that level, your time doesn't matter. It's just who's the best competitor, who runs the smartest, who wants it the most. And often the fastest people in time trialing situations are not the ultimate champion at the end of the day. So, something to think about, and I hope you have a great day.